What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined by my dad, Sean. And today, reactions to the classics. We got another Bob Dylan battle up today, man, from one of our biggest Dylan fans in the RTTC community,
Yep.
our guy, Sean. Always appreciate you, Sean. Thanks for all the support throughout
Definitely.
the, man, I mean, it's been well over a year now. And I always enjoy what you bring to us to react to. And Sean came up with a great idea, man. We're going to be doing
It runs with the name.
Ooh, yeah, it does. It does, man. We got two Dylan outtakes. Let Me Die in My Footsteps, which was an outtake from the Free Will and Bob Dylan. A shameless plug. Got an album review of that up.
We do, and against lay down your weary tune from the times they are a changing.
So this should be a very fun battle. I always love, obviously, diving into Dylan's work, and I mean, the man has so many outtakes and bootlegs, and
We haven't even scratched any sort of surface, and we got besides the Beatles, there's more Bob Dylan stuff
yeah.
up on this channel than anyone else. We haven't even scratched the surface.
no, for sure, man. So I guess we'll get rocking and rolling here with Let Me Die in My Footsteps. As I mentioned, man, outtake from the Free Will and Bob Dylan. It was replaced by quite the track, though. A Hard
Yeah.
Rain's A Gonna Fall.
That song is so freaking good.
Written in February of 1962. And so, that early Dylan folky
Yeah.
era. So I'm curious to see whenever we get going how that's gonna sound. So I'm looking forward to this one.
And there's some people who believe that because this has no clear melodic precedent and suggests this may be the first song for which Dylan created an original melody. But Dylan later kind of clarified the song's origins, but you never know on these stories, indicating it was based on an old Roy Acuff ballad. According to Dylan, the song was inspired by the construction of fallout shelters, a widespread practice in the U.S. during the Cold War political climate of the 50s when he was growing up. So who knows which one of those is right.
Yeah, and Dylan himself actually had a quote here. I was going through some town, and they were making this bomb shelter right outside of town, one of those sort of Coliseum type things, and there were construction workers and
Wow,
everything.
that is quite the bomb shelter.
Ooh, I was there for about an hour just looking at them build, and I just wrote the song in my head back then. But I carried it with me for 2 years until I finally wrote it down. As I watched them building, it struck me sort of funny that they would concentrate so much on digging a hole underground when there were so many other things they should do in life. If nothing else, they could look at the sky, walk around, and live a little bit instead of doing this immoral thing. So, interesting, man. As always, got the lyrics pulled up.
Everything on YouTube of Bob Dylan gets blocked. So the song, I'm going to guess, Trey, I'm 99% sure these songs will not show up. There is
Yeah.
a link below if you want to listen along to the songs with us, if you're not familiar with them. If you already know them, hang around here. We'll give our reaction as soon as they're over.
All right, let me die in my footsteps before I go down under the ground.
Yeah, I was going to
Sean.
say that. That's what I already said it in my head. Great tune, man. Great tune. You know, the overall idea of the tune, you always got to read the lyrics when it comes to Dylan. And, basically, I'm not going to go hide out. Let me die in my footsteps while I'm going to die living my life, not being scared under the ground. He goes in there and talks about they've been telling him of this war for years now, basically. Kind of don't worry about it. Let's live life.
Well, and again, that imagery and just kind of the scenery set here as well. Just saying, let me drink from the waters where the mountain streams flood. Smell of the wildflowers flow free through my blood.
You're not getting any of those, Trey, if you're underground.
No, sleep in the meadows, walk down the highway with my brother in peace. And just that refrain that ends every verse, obviously a technique that Dylan used a lot, especially
Yes.
in those early, because it's part of that folk tradition. And man, I just always enjoy this 60, 62, 63, 64 Dylan sound where it's just him, the acoustic, and that young voice that he has.
Yeah, voice throwing a little harmonica on occasion.
And
Sean had asked us, he'd asked us a question about whether did he make the right choice. I really like this song. It would fit on the album. I'm not sure what I'd boot out of that album just off the top of my head, but A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall is one of my 10 favorite Dylan songs.
Yeah.
So it couldn't replace that for me, but I could find something else on that album it could replace.
no, and heck, man, I would have just
This is what I had.
Shoehorned it, man. Shoehorn that. There's so much greatness here. That's how you know you're a true.
Yeah, it's only 3.5 minutes. Throw it on there, man.
All-time great is whenever you got a track like this that's an outtake, man. Like for most people of the day, this would be a highlight single,
for sure.
So what a tune, man, and definitely reflects that atmosphere of the day. That's cool to hear all these years later. I'm obviously so far removed from the Cold War and the worrying about this and that.
I remember it, not this part, but I do remember the Cold War growing up.
But that was cool, man. And so some strong competition here for "Lay Down Your Weary Tune," which is up next here. This was an outtake, as we mentioned, from "The Times They Are Changing," replaced on that album from "Restless Farewell." So not as obviously a huge hit as A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. So maybe this one will be able to go against it, man. Also written in '63.
Yeah, and Dylan claims in the album liner notes that it's a song he was trying to capture the feeling of a Scottish ballad he had just heard on a 78 RPM record. We are throwing it all back.
And the Byrds recorded this track for their record Turn, Turn, Turn. So the Byrds obviously love Dylan, Mr. Tambourine Man.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're coming in hard on Bob, aren't they?
And kind of some interesting backstory on this. He wrote the song at Joan Baez's house in California in the autumn of '63. I recently heard her on a podcast, Broken Record, which was kind of cool because I had never, I didn't know much about Joan, but she obviously spoke highly of Bob, and that's also the same visit where he wrote the just wonderful tune, "The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll."
For sure.
So yeah, man, let's get rocking with this one. "Lay Down Your Weary Tune." Whew. What a song, man.
What a song, man. That definitely should have been on the album. Wow, man. I mean, he starts out with the chorus.
Dude, that chorus was just so... I mean, the melody in here, just was something that just drew you in right away. I mean, it was just start to bottom beautiful, but the chorus, like you said, I mean...
Yeah, and Bob doesn't always have, as we know very well, it doesn't always have choruses in it. So
No.
A lot of times doesn't. So the fact that this one sticks out so much and is so good just makes it even better. I see when we're reading like the interpretation, so there's a lot of different interpretations of the song, what it's about, a bunch of people shooting a bunch of theories at. So it's a very lauded song in its canon, even though neither one of us have even heard it. It's not even on a proper album.
Dude, yeah, I would have. This would have worked because "Restless Farewell" is the closer to the Times They Are Changing, and that's a bit more kind of biting in a sense where, and I mean I enjoy that track as well, especially the final line on that. So I'll make my stand and remain as I am and bid farewell and not give a damn. This is another one where it's like, well, maybe this...
if he wanted to end more gentle, he could have done this one.
Yeah, or just, put it after that, but this is one I will say I do think he could have replaced. But anyway, man, it was just so beautiful. One that you almost just want to kind of shed a tear to, not for no specific reason, just in the sense of, man, this was a powerful message, and again that imagery coming in, kind of like the last time, mentions the ocean, seaweed, the waves, and
skies, the clouds, the rain.
One of his best vocal performances.
I was going to say, the early Dylan, where the voice is, a lot more, I guess, pure. You would say, you're never going to say Dylan has a totally pure voice, but a lot. It's a lot clearer, a lot more technically sound, even though I do enjoy his later stuff as well.
And I mean, I just first listen, man, I think you could listen to this track many, many times, as with a lot of Dylan tunes. And it is that sense of almost mysticism and mystery behind this.
Yes.
Like, you could interpret it in so many different ways, man. And I see here, well, somebody mentioned, one theologian said, linked many of the images of the song to the Bible and calls it one of the greatest theological songs since King David composed the Psalms. And there's,
wow, that's putting some pressure on the man.
But man, lovely tune right there, man. And that'll take us to the battle. Obviously, from what I've been gushing over, I got to go "Lay Down Your Weary Tune." But no disrespect to "Let Me Die in My Footsteps." But what about you?
I'm right there with you. Same thing. I after Let Me Die in My Footsteps. I mean, I always know with Dylan it's going to be a battle, but I thought, that's probably going to win. But yeah, this one wins for me easily, not because Let Me Die in My Footsteps is bad, but because this is just so freaking good. So, Sean, thank you as always for bringing us some gold here. There's so much gold in the Dylan catalog tray that we've never heard, but there's not enough time in the day. So we need you guys to help us out. Put some stuff in the comments below. If you want to be a patron, bring us a battle or a song reaction like Sean does, check out our Patreon link below. They really help us out. So thanks again, Sean.
Yeah, man. And until next time, thanks for watching. Happy listening, and we will see you.